Hello everyone, welcome to HLF1. It's finally here. After 4 weeks of being postponed, we are finally back with some HLF1 action. And it's Season 3, Round 7, as Round 6 got postponed to a later date in the season. And we are here in Bahrain. HLF1 is obviously the league where I am the current championship leader. Coming into Bahrain, the gap to Infernal Lewis is 10 points, so the pressure was well and truly on coming into Bahrain. And as we finished our first qualifying runs, I actually want to qualify on the medium tire here, so I was just doing some bait runs on soft tires just to get a delta. But now, as we're standing in P5, we are going for our one and only medium tire lap. Before I get to actually commenting on the lap, unfortunately in HLF1 the attendance has dropped off massively, and here in Bahrain we only got a total of 6 drivers to attend, so that's why even though I haven't got a lap, I'm still P5. So yeah, but we march on, and they decided that it's for the best to just get the season on the way once more, so maybe we can get more drivers in. But as we are on our one and only medium tire lap, I was fueled for 2, but this was the one I thought, you know what, I'm gonna take it. We had a decent sector 1, and honestly, the only benchmark I can look at is Infernal Lewis, our championship lead, or our championship rival, I should say. He was the only one who had also decided to go onto mediums for their run, and it was only fitting that I had his time as my benchmark on the track and on the timing sheets, as well as we are 1 and a bit seconds up on our soft tire run, coming into the second sector split, and it's looking nice and cozy, 3/10 ahead of Infernal Lewis as it stands right now. And honestly, like, because the likes of Backrow, Dark Soul, Potsy, they have all decided not to compete in this league anymore, this fight for the title is only going to be me against Lewis in a direct fight. So it's important for us to qualify ahead of him. As we cross the line, we get a 26.8, if I see that correctly, crucially ahead of Lewis, and that was the end of qualifying for me. And as we can see the qualifying results now, we stayed P2, 5/10 behind Screely, a new member of the league, who got pole position ahead of myself and Vasil's Infernal Lewis down in 4th, but he is also starting on a medium tire. But now we are going to have 5 red lights ahead of us for the 29 laps here in Bahrain. They're on and they're out, lights out, and away we go. And understandably so, we got a mediocre start on the medium tires. You can see in the mirror actually Lewis got an even worse start, but we decided to dive back down the inside of Vasil's, the Alfa Romeo, who for a second got a move done on us, but we did not let it go too easily, and we got P1 back from Chris Vasil's, who decided to overtake us for a bit. Scree leads the way in the Alfa Romeo, and Danya in the leading Ferrari, actually, as Lewis had a awful start on the medium tires, dropped back to last, which is P6, but it's still last. But now, obviously, why I qualified on the medium tires, it's possible to do a 1-stop onto hard tires. As with softs, you want to do 2 stops, but as you can see, the race leader doesn't really want to lead the race. He spun out, exiting turn 10 on traction, and we inherited the race lead from that action there. So we are now race leaders on the medium tire, which is the best case scenario as it is right now, because all we can do is manage the race, manage the gap, and just wait for others, because I think even Lewis is still deciding to do a 2-stop onto a double stack of softs, whilst myself, I think I'm the only one who wants to do a 1-stop onto hard tires. So where we are right now is ideal, but Chris Vasil's is having none of it, and he's in our slipstream. And honestly, thinking about it now, I shouldn't have fought him too hard, because he's throwing it down my inside. He's on the soft tires. He has to do 1 more stop than I have. At this point, I'm already considering to just give him the position, but as you can see here,
it was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
He lost the car and spun himself and us off the track. And I don't think Chris got damage from that, but I did. And what I said just a few seconds ago, being the best case scenario, this race at the first lap, we now have to pit at the end of lap 2 for damage, and also on another set of 2 medium tires. So we are now forced to a 2-stop strategy. So we are net P6, which is net last place, as Lewis right now is P2, chasing down his teammate. So things went from really good to really bad for us in a matter of half a lap. Lap 4 now, and we are at the back of Chris once again with DRS, and this time we are both on the same tires, and I am having absolutely none of it. Dived it down his inside, and I am not going to let him hold me up even more than we absolutely have to stick behind him. So we got past him. After the race, he apologized to me. He lost the car. I mean, it's understandable. Bahrain is pretty difficult track to manage traction on, but as you can see now, we're on to lap 7, and exiting the S section, there's a Ferrari who spun off the track, and Infernal Lewis, our championship rival, has retired from this race, and this, again, is a massive turnaround in this race. We went from leading the way, everything being our way, to being spun out, being damaged, or having gotten damage, and now Infernal Lewis has spun out of this race. And as the virtual safety car gets deployed, here's how Lewis crashed out. So basically he got stuck on the curb and just slid into the wall, and that is unfortunate, and I really feel bad for him. But virtual safety car, and now we are up to 4th place. So basically, as it stands right now, we would gain 12 points to Lewis. However, after the race, I can say this now, I asked the admins, because there was only 6 of us, I asked the admins to give points to everyone, even those who DNF, so technically we are only gaining 4 points to Lewis as it stands right now, but it's still the gap being, made bigger than it is right now. Whatever happens to us now, we are going to extend our lead in the Drivers' Championship, but it's only lap 7, and we are 33 points off P2, I should say. We cut all the way to lap 13, and you can see in the corner ahead of us, there's a Williams spinning off, and we have our safety car as Professor Ballop has crashed in this very corner into the wall. And again, the curb or the outside in here, if you get onto that, or the inside curb, you are sliding into the wall. But this safety car has saved our race massively, because we were about 20 seconds off the lead, and even though I consider myself being a bit quicker than the 2 cars in front of us, there's only 3 cars left in this race, and there's still more than half the race to go. This safety car brought me back into contention as we pit onto the hard tires, as the Dynia in front, Screely is onto the medium tires, so he's trying to get to the end on those. And we now have the safety car, and as you should say now, we do have the safety car restart now, lap 15. Off 29, we have a little bit less than half the race to go, and there's 3 cars left in the race. No matter what we do now, we are going to be on the podium, and I guess, all that's left for us now is to get the win. But what you're gonna witness here is probably the weirdest racing I've ever seen in any F1 league. So basically, Alfa Romeo of Screely and the Ferrari of Dania are fighting it out for the race lead. I decided to take a bit more relaxed approach, because I knew that I can probably get both of these guys once we settle into the rhythm, but the Alfa Romeo and Ferrari are deciding to fight it out like it's the final lap of this race, when in fact there's 14 laps to go. Daniel manages to keep the lead as it stands right now, but Screely, for whatever reason, tries to go down the inside, loses a part of his front wing, then Daniel turns into him and loses even more of his front wing, the Alfa Romeo does. We tried to make a free wide, as there was nowhere else we could go, but we got out of it. We are still third. We know that Screely has damage, and the Ferrari, I wouldn't like to be alongside him, because he seems to just cut off everyone who he has alongside him. But now, you can see Dania has got a bit of a breathing room, and Alfa Romeo of Screely is now really struggling with that damage that he has got onto his front left of his front wing. So right now we get the better exit than the Screely in front of us. We try to overtake him with overtake mode and rich mix, but As the corner approaches, we decide to back out of it, but he runs wide anyway, so we get past him and up to second place to chase down the race-leading Ferrari as Screely actually pits for his damage that he wants to repair. So we are now unleashed after the Ferrari, and that is for the race lead. We cut now to the end of lap 17, going to lap 18, and we are getting closer and closer to the leading Ferrari as we are now using overtake mode and rich mix. No DRS yet, but you can see Danya is low on ERS, and it's gonna be an easy move down inside. What else can I say? We dive it down inside into turn 1, and that's the race lead for us in this Bahrain Grand Prix with, I believe, 12 laps, counting this one in as well, still to go in this race. So basically all I thought now was, cruise home and take this win. But as you can see, or as you're about to see, Screely in the Alfa Romeo, again in turn 13, has a bit of an off there. And what it triggers, or what it will trigger, is yet another safety car. There's only 2 runners left in this race, and we have a safety car. I decide to pit onto soft tires to go for a sprinty end into this race. Daniel in the Ferrari follows me in. We both go onto the soft tires to have a bit of a faster ending to this race, because honestly we both wanted this to end as soon as possible. But yeah, we're going to cut to the safety car restart right about now, trying to warm the tires up, and you can see Daniel has 9 seconds of penalties to our none. Basically, the only thing that can take the win away from me now is me bobbling it into the wall, and I don't seem to do that very often, as you may or may not agree. Lap 24, and safety car restart, we get away and unchallenged into turn 1. We now cut onto the end of lap 24, going to lap 25, and because I was really bored, I wanted to push this final stint, and my objective was to get a fastest lap in the race into 1:27s, and this is my fastest lap in this race, and the attempt to get sub 1 minute 28. We got a decent exit out of turn 1, and obviously we are using all the fuel because we have too much fuel left at this stage, and ERS as well. We have all the grip in the world because the soft tires are pretty, well, grippy, because they're soft, because logic and physics and whatever. We get purple sector 1, obviously, and all the time we are also extending up to Danya because, well, I don't think he is quite up to my pace as of yet, but obviously that can all change in the next races. Never know. Never underestimate anyone. But exiting turn 10 now, and yeah, with our unlimited grip, we are on the straight. Overtake mode and rich mix, just all the power that we can possibly put onto this straight. Turn 11, yeah, nice and easy, full throttle in 4th gear. 12 is flat out, 13 is flat out, just avoid the curbs to avoid spinning out. We do a green sector 2, I guess we did a better sector 2 in our previous lap because we also got the fast lap on the previous lap. Again, rich mix and overtake we had on for a brief moment. We have to save some overtake mode onto the final straight as well, that we are going to deploy now. Rich mix to the line, and can we get a 1:27? Let's have a look. No, we get a 28.077, but don't really care about that. It is the final lap now, and we are crossing, or we are going through the final 2 corners. The gap to Danya is 17 seconds on track, but it's going to be even larger. We take the win here in Bahrain, and honestly it's one of the weirdest, and especially the second half of the race, one of the most boring league races I've ever had. We have the podium celebrations obviously because, well, it's the default celebrations really, but honestly my own reaction was I went into the league channels and I basically asked Lewis what happened to him because I wanted to have a battle with him. But yeah, we take the win, and despite everything else, it's a massive win for us because we get 26 points with the fastest lap, and because I asked the admins to give everyone who attended, so all 6 of us, points, Lewis still gets 8 points for his troubles here in Bahrain, which means that we extend the gap to 28 points. No matter what happens in the next race, if we crash out from the next race and Lewis wins, we will be the championship leaders. So this is the highest I've had the championship gap to be But yeah, this is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.